Yo, No Maniacs, good afternoon, man. This is Nomad Live, all Bears all the time, in conjunction with my guys Shawn Sierra and Sports Zone Chicago. And
Yeah, yeah.
we about to dig into a really good show, but before we dig it in, we're gonna go around and have some pleasantries. I'll start with myself, man. I had a pretty busy week this week, and it's probably going to get busier towards the end of the week. I think we'll be tonight. Hopefully, we'll be doing another Nomad at Night for you guys, giving you guys an extra show. Tonight, we're going to cover some stuff, and I think Thursday, I think I'm scheduled. I believe with BCP to do the show over there with them. I should be doing that, and then we're talking about Chris and I were talking about doing another show, another Nomad at Night Friday, just because it's combine time and people want to talk about that stuff. So we plan on wanting to do that, man. Hopefully we can get some people here to really fill out the show and make it happen for you guys. And then let me see, Sunday we have Nomad at Night. Also, that same day, I think an hour before that, I think I'm scheduled, and I was privileged enough to be able to get asked to do a show over there with Brad Hyatt and Chicago Sports Podcast, and he's supposed to have on Curtis Conway, one of the Chicago Bear greats, receiver number 80. If you don't remember, if you've seen him on video, not old enough to remember, man, he was a baller, and so I was privileged enough to be asked to come on and do an interview with him, and I'm gonna enjoy that if it pans out. But I digress, fellas, man. Let's get some shout outs, man. All these people in the chat coming here to show us love. Chris, what's up?
Hey man, what's happening? I just want to shout out to everybody in the chat. Thank you guys for coming and supporting us. Don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, and share button. Shawn, good to see you. Keith, always good to see you. Nomad, good to see you. Brian in the back, my man, holding it down. Man, you're gonna be pretty busy, man. You hanging out with Muhammad Ali's son-in-law.
Oh, you son of a biscuit. I was just about to say that, dog.
You know I'm gonna ask him about this wife.
Layla. Yeah, but yeah, man, it's good to be here. And combine time, things are happening. So let's bear on down.
Well, since Chris wanted to steal my thunder, yes, he is Muhammad Ali's son-in-law, and I actually met Curtis Conway. Real quick story: we were I was a girl right when I got back home from New York, and we were down at Dave and Buster's. It was a Sunday after a game, and him and his wife and his child were down there, and it was funny because people kept running up to me, and I had a sport quota. Why I have no idea. Maybe I was trying to impress my girl or something. Maybe it was the beginning of the relationship, whatever. But people kept coming up to me and asking me if for an autograph, and I'm like, sure, all right, whatever. I was playing for the Thunder at the time, and about 5 kids came up and asked me for my autograph. I'm like, that's really odd, but whatever. And I walk around one of the other bank of games, and there's Curtis Conway with his kid, and I was like, oh, they think I'm one of those Bears. I was like, funny stories. I just went up to him and said, what's up, and that was it. But yeah, so that's pretty cool, man. Good stuff.
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon, No Maniacs. How you guys doing today? Thank you again for joining us today. Shawn, Nomad, Chris, what's going on? Brian in the back. Hey, let's talk some Chicago Bears football. I'm hyped up. A little nervous too. I'm not gonna lie, man. But let's get it going.
Yeah. I got the bomb, baby. Let me know when I can drop it. You drop the bomb
Well,
on me.
let's talk
baby.
about some generality. Let's talk a little bit of generality right now. Let's just we got plenty of time to dig all the way into some of the nuances that might be playing out with Ryan Poles. But as the thumbnail told you, I believe that Ryan Poles is playing a pretty damn good game of poker right now, and it's the gamesmanship right now. And in his responses to, he did Media Row all day yesterday. I think today I think he did ESPN 1000. And that interview kind of gave me a little bit more insight into some of the stuff that I'm going to be saying today. I'm talking about the show with Joniak and Tom Thayer. He did that today. Well, at least I saw the video of it this morning. But no, I take that back. That was Waddle and Sylvie. I take that back. That's who it was.
Yeah, it was yesterday.
Yes. Okay. I didn't know that came out yesterday. I thought it was today. But yeah, I kind of took some stuff from that interview too, listening to some of the words he was using. But there's a bunch out here, man, and I think, I'll just say this, fellas and ladies, that's any lady that's involved in the show and in the chat right now. If you are regular on Twitter, you have already seen the pendulum swing. And people, that's the way that app is, man. It is moody as a bipolar person. They jump to wild conclusions. They get a little bit tidbit of information. Like there's a video of Justin Fields jumping up and down in his kitchen, and it was made to seem
That
as
wasn't Justin.
yeah, well, this is the
Let me
video. I'm
finish.
just telling people what it was and how people tried to spin it, and they tried to make it seem as though Justin heard that he got permission, he was getting traded to Atlanta or something like that. So Josh Shapiro, a good friend of the show, NBC Sports Chicago, went out and with his sources and rebuked it, shot it down. It's like, no, that's not it. That's exactly he was trying to basically mimic how special teams guys get right before they get to go on the field and get ready to kick the ball off or return it. They get a little excited if you play football. You know how special teams guys get. And he was mimicking them, I guess, as a joke. That's the way I was. That's the way I understood it. But I digress, man. But fellas, again, I think this is a brilliant hand of poker. Ryan Poles is playing. I think he's got the chips starting to pile up and getting ready to get pushed into the middle and wanting to call his bluff. And so, what's going to happen beyond that? I believe Justin Fields isn't going anywhere, but I'll let you guys give me your thoughts.
Yeah, it's great gamesmanship, and the way to get the most value is to make people think you want it, make people think you're going to hold on to it. Okay, and you've seen the tide swing. First, they're going to keep the number one pick and trade Justin. Then all of a sudden, they're going to trade the number one pick and keep Justin. Now they're going to keep the number one pick and trade Justin. So all of a sudden, so as this is coming down, mind you, remember if you did remember last year, he was right after the combine when he made the trade with Carolina. So what I feel is happening now is he's doing that. He's keeping, what I think I'm going to keep the pick. And so if anybody wants to come up and get that pick, because there's going to be offers, and you wouldn't be doing your due diligence if you weren't a GM. You're going to call if you want to get one of the top quarterbacks. You're going to call. So he's creating value for it because I really want it because of this, and this. Masterful job, well played, sir, well played. And you saw all the Caleb cults, getting all crazy, and it's all where now he's here, blah 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 blah. And I just don't think that, and here's why. Louis Riddick said it this morning, and it makes a lot of sense. Makes a heck of a lot of sense. Why would you get rid of the entire offensive staff if Justin was a problem?
Man, you dirty dog, Shawn. I was going there.
Oh my
man.
God, I'm sorry, dog. I'm sorry.
You was spying on me, man. Sitting up here looking at my notebook and carrying on, man. What's going on, man?
No, I got a tweet from my guy, the text from my guy. Didn't mean to steal your thunder, Papa. I didn't mean to steal your
It's
thunder.
all good, man. Go.
But you know what? That just goes to show the great minds think alike. Okay, because if Justin wasn't the problem, okay, then you keep the staff. Okay, you keep the staff, and you say, okay, well, Getsy's good enough to. It's not Getsy, it's Fields. Okay, and we're comfortable with Caleb Williams with him. So since they're doing that, they trust Justin. They believe in Justin. That's what I said before. I'm like, and I would always ask the question when everyone says that he's not the guy. I'm like, how do you know he's not the guy? How do you know that's not what they think? You're assuming because you don't like what you see. Okay, and then we've talked about the ability to see certain things through a certain lens. Okay, and some people are a little more savvy and experienced. So you wouldn't have done, and the whole thing, not just the OC, the whole offensive staff gone. And they brought in a new guy, a guy that they know who's worked with similar quarterbacks to Justin's style, although Geno doesn't really run much, but Russell made big time improvements with Geno. Good work with Russell, and they feel this is the guy. This is why I think it's going. When I saw that, I'm like, that, because there was something about it that I couldn't put my finger on it. And I'm like, I know everything looks like it's leaning toward it, even though Poles did a great job of giving both sides, bits. You know what I mean? To take to their fan and to throw it in each other's face. All right, some sound bites, but he stayed pretty much down the middle. But there was something missing. And when I heard it from Louis Riddick today, I'm like, bingo, that's what it is. So we'll see. And, I hope that was the telltale sign, because even when you're doing something, and he's not doing anything dirty or wrong, But even when you're trying to hide something, there's certain clues. Okay, there's certain clues that some things you just can't hide, and that was a big one. Get for me is getting rid of that offensive staff. Sorry, Nomad.
No, that's Keith. You all good.
Well, I'm gonna put it like this. I saw something. I think it was either yesterday. It might have been this morning, and I actually retweeted it, where they're saying, you got almost like a list of 7 or 8 teams where it would be a major upgrade to add Justin Fields to their roster. And I sat there for a moment. And I said, amazing how if he's such an improvement to other rosters, why isn't he an improvement, or why isn't he good enough to be on the Bears roster? And then I just realized, I said, you know what? I go back to a couple of days ago when we were on the show, and I said that Bears fans are addicted to toxicity and chaos.
Mm-hmm.
We just can't help ourselves, man. We're gluttons for punishment, one. Two, we're just greedy. We act like we know what having a great quarterback looks like. This is the best quarterback that the Bears has ever had in their organization. And we have a certain sector of Bears fans that seem to think that they know what a real quarterback looks like. So I'm going to say this. If he's such a great improvement to somebody else's roster, he's just that much as important to our roster. That's why if I'm posed, well, damn, if I got 7, 8 teams that, according to the experts, think that my guy is going to improve their roster, then I better hold on to him because that makes him that much more valuable to me. And that pick, I can afford to let that pick go. And that's why I think he's leaning. Now, I'm not a poker player. I play bid. But even with that, I will say this. My man got a heck of a poker face, man. And he is playing this so close to the vest. Once everything is pulled off, and I would say we won't be able to speak on it next season, but the year after that, trust me, when that young man is going to be up for GM of the year because he's going to pull off some things in the next 2 seasons that is going to really be monumental for this organization. But again, you know, I could be wrong, but I'm no, I won't say that. But I'm usually never wrong. Go ahead,
Well,
Nomad.
well, let me. I'm gonna answer. Unapologetic truth asked me a question. I'm gonna answer. Matter of fact, let me just touch that first. That was that video you saw that was spinning on Twitter, man. Alex Shapiro, go to his timeline if you would, and he'll tell you why. Just look up Alex Shapiro on Twitter, and he'll tell you all about that video. We covered it already. You must have just got here, but we spoke on it at the very beginning of the show. But yeah, let me say this, man. I'm gonna say this for the record. Nobody is in the gray area about where I stand on whether or not we should keep Justin Fields. Nobody that watches this show on a regular could tell you Nomad is he doesn't know. You know exactly what I think they ought to do. You know exactly what. However, if things did not work out, I'm not one of these crazy people online and has a podcast and won't know how to act. If all we'll do is just pivot. That's simple as that. Even though I don't see it happening, I know exactly what I feel on the inside, and every day that goes by since all this started, man, I just get more and more assured of it. I didn't let the interview Ryan Post was doing on Media Row really discourage what I was thinking in the first place because I knew what his job was and what he had to do. He's got a responsibility to the organization to make sure that the draft capital that they have versus their needs get met. And so if that requires him to have Justin Fields on the phone, his representation on the phone, and speak to them about where we're going to go, but this is how I need you to respond. That's the way I read it, as they know exactly what they want to do. They're just letting this game play out in a way that favors them. And so if that doesn't make sense to you because you want Caleb Williams so bad, that's just you not really looking at the whole board as it sits. You got to be realistic with yourself. I know you want to see Caleb Williams here. Some of these people that's talking about him every day on these shows, I know you want to see him here. But don't be so short-sighted that you can't see what this man's responsibility is to the organization and what he has to do to raise the value of that draft pick. Because if somebody brings to him an offer that he cannot just sit here and say, you know what, he's going to take it and we're going to get a whole lot more draft capital. Bottom line, man. And that's just the way it's going to be. But here's another little nuanced piece, Shawn, that I wanted to throw out there. I'm glad you didn't catch that on my notes when you stole them today, man. But I got this one for you.
I didn't get to the bottom yet. That's why.
I got you, man. Hey, look, if and how many times did you hear Shawn and Keith? How many times did you hear on Media Row Ryan Poles go around to every network and station and say he wanted to do right by Justin? If he wanted to do right by Justin, wouldn't he have given him permission to seek a trade?
Yep.
Just saying. That's all I
Absolutely.
got to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great point. That is a great point.
Heck, for that matter, he'd be traded already because I guarantee you he did already receive some calls about it. So if that was the case, then it'd be a done deal already. We wouldn't even be having this conversation. So
Remember, he allowed JJ's team to do that during the season.
yeah,
The
And
only
that's just,
thing in yeah.
go ahead, Chris. I ain't mean to stop you. Go ahead, bro.
No, I was just gonna say. I mean, he would at least as a he's not gonna let them pick where they want to go. He's only gonna let them pick where he wants them to go if he's thinking about trading them. So, but as a courtesy, he might let them do that because he did it with JJ. He was never going to trade JJ during the season. I don't think.
Yeah.
I mean, I think when you stop for a second and really just dig into the simple stuff that's right there in front of us, anybody can digest it, anybody can make sense of it. The courtesy that Chris just spoke to right there, and the thoughts, because I heard Ryan Poles a couple times tell people, "I love Justin Fields, love him as a human, love him as a man." He's got a certain kinship for Justin Fields, and I don't think it stops at the football field. I think he just really does really care about that young man and how hard of a worker he is, and how much effort he puts into being what they want him to be. And I think there's a certain level of respect there. And for him to not give him permission to seek a trade, if he did, we'd know about it by now. Wouldn't you think, Shawn? I think we know that he gave that kid permission, and I think the writing would be on the wall then.
He's told. I'm glad. I thought you were going to take mine. I thought you were going to take my note. He talked about how much he loves Justin Fields and how much he cares about him. If you love him and care, you need to get the right offensive coordinator about him. You need to give him another shot because you understand what was happening. And again, don't be surprised if this conversation was had last year. Don't be surprised. You know what? I don't know if we'll ever find out, maybe years down the road, but he might. I'm telling you, the way Ryan Poles has been very transparent with us. He said it with Justin. Justin's echoed those sentiments as well. Look, this could be part of the plan. Okay, you know what? I love it when a plan comes together. He might say, "Hey, listen, we're going to get a haul this year. We're talking about last year. All right, we're going to get build. We're going to solidify the defense, and then next year we're going to play. We'll see how it works out. And when they got the number one pick, like, okay, good. Here's how we can play it. Here's exactly how we can play it. The speculation, all his uncertainty is just driving it up, driving the value up, and I think that's what he wants. So if that's what he's doing, believe you, and he already said he's been in contact with Justin's camp, his team, so they probably know exactly what's going on. And I don't know how much a personal interview is going to be. You know what I mean? I just don't. I don't think a personal interview is going to change it. I think they're happy with him for the reasons we stated. Louis Riddick stated it today. You mentioned no trade, no permission to seek a trade. All right. I just think, again, I'm excited, a little nervous, but I'm excited because what happened is when the word comes out that the Bears traded that number one pick, there are going to be a lot of people that are mad. And I'm telling you, it's these little things. You can only play the card game, the shell game for so long before you get caught. And I don't mean in a bad way. I mean, he's trying to hide this, but there's just a lot of signs, a lot of different things. We're going to see, man. I'm going to see.
Hey, Keith, if you don't mind, I got to jump in front, man, because Baralissimo spoke to something, and I'm glad he mentioned that.
No, I was getting ready to say, please. I wanted them to bring that up anyway. No, that's good.
Let me, because I had that in mind to talk about that. The news is, the breaking news is Zach Wilson was given permission to seek a trade. So Zach Wilson a couple years ago was that, wicked
Dude,
wild. He just like Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
Wicked wild throws, off platform throws, big highlight plays, and all the stuff that comes with it with his Karate Kid ass headband on. Just drove some scouts and some owners crazy, and to the point where they ignored the signs. Only problem I have with I will say this: Zach Wilson probably was given I wouldn't say a worse situation than Justin Fields. I don't even think it's close. In fact, I think Zach Wilson, but his offensive line wasn't that good. Justin's was worse. But some of those guys with that wicked wild arm talent, my problem with it is that they're so good at throwing the ball and really putting balls where normal people can't put them. They get a little too overconfident in their arm strength, and the things you were able to get away with in college tends to get you in trouble on the next level because those windows close fast. And so that kind of stuff, that kind of confidence turns into bad habits, and they show up on the field, and it's hard. Anybody with good sense knows and will tell you it's very, very hard to break bad habits. And so I'm not gonna put Zach Wilson down, but he's a cautionary tale to those wicked highlight plays that you see all the time from Caleb Williams and Zach Wilson. And this is just that. They're just highlight plays. Doesn't necessarily mean to translate to the next level. But let you go ahead and go, Keith.
I kind of lost my train of thought, but no, I would say this, man. To be wild over some, most of the people that has seen anything regarding Caleb Williams has been highlights, man. I'm gonna be honest. I had the opportunity. I've watched every single game that USC has played this season, and again, like I said, I don't take anything away from the young man, but it takes a special guy, a certain type of player to play in Chicago. One, we're going to talk about the media and the fans, but more importantly, just playing in Soldier Fields. If you had never played at Soldier Fields or been in Soldier Fields, you got to have a certain type of arm to be able to play at Soldier Fields. As well as he makes these off-schedule throws, I don't think his arm is strong enough personally. I'm gonna be very honest about it. As a In terms of size, he doesn't have the size. And I could be biased, and don't get me wrong, there's a lot of improvement that Justin needs to make as well. I've said that, and even the player himself has said that. I'm just gonna be very honest. I think Ryan Poles knows what he has in his locker room. He's going to keep what he has. He has to do what he's doing in order to get the absolute most value for that pick. But again, it's not just that one pick. That pick is going to be traded twice, and he has to really run it up so that he can get as many people as possible to want to fight for that first spot, and then want to go come up to two, because the evidence is in the air, that essentially it's going to be Washington. I feel in my gut it's going to be Washington that's going to want to move up to get that first pick, and I wouldn't be surprised that the Patriots don't make a move. But again, I do believe too that Atlanta is going to either one or two things. They're either going to go with a vet and probably try to go and get Russell Wilson, or they're going to come up to get a young quarterback. That's just my take.
It's a Now I gotta disagree with you here on this arm strength.
Yeah, me too.
Like at least my arm strength to do it.
Yeah,
I just don't.
He's got a gun. He's got a cannon.
Yeah, he's got a gun on him now. Now I can't take that from him. He's look, man,
We'll agree to disagree on that.
that's all right, man.
Okay.
Ain't nothing wrong with that at all. Um, Here's my thing about Caleb Williams and his makeup versus Chicago. I think, and I made this post here earlier on Twitter. Anybody follows me on Twitter, you go and see what I'm about to tell you if you want to. I'm Nomad Networking on Twitter. Justin, you couldn't really design a quarterback that fits Chicago better than Justin. His mindset, his mental toughness, his physicality, and his ability to make big plays. I mean, just think about in those three parts. His mindset, he's got the ability to kind of compartmentalize the crazy that the Chicago media will put on your plate as the franchise quarterback of the Bears. It takes a certain amount of emotional maturity to be able to deal with that and know what to do with it. You know what I mean? Compartmentalize, put it somewhere, and get back to your damn job and be excellent when you go out there on the field and give great performances. Given the situation that he was platformed with, the lame duck head coach coming into a teardown the next year, then starting a whole new offense and trying to strive in it after the teardown with not all the pieces that you need. That's what Ryan Poles is talking about when he said, Justin hasn't been given the best of circumstances. So when you hear him say that kind of thing, and then you start pondering whether or not this guy has seen Justin's ceiling, he absolutely has not. Nobody has seen Justin Fields' ceiling. Not a person can look me straight in my face without flinching can tell me we've seen Justin Fields the ceiling.
No,
I don't even think we
close.
scratched the surface with Justin.
Nope.
Given the circumstances that he was platformed with. And so let's go there, because when we start talking about the shiny new thing that you want to hurry up and put on the team, you're not being realistic about what we have inside the building as it is. We haven't given him the opportunity to show exactly what he can bring to the team. We've seen it in spurts. We've seen it in flashes. That stuff is going to turn into a consistent football play once you get the pieces around him. Why do you think DJ Moore is on TV talking about give us Marvin Harrison Jr.? He knows with that other option out there is just going to make his game greater, and we're going to be more explosive. When they're putting up 30-something points a game on an average, you telling me this guy can't do his job. See, you're willfully ignoring the things that really make sense just so you can get your point across. But I'll talk too much if I don't stop you.
Everyone talks about, and it's funny when you get the Caleb cult, and they're like, well, doesn't have to have everything right. Look at what he had at Ohio State, and they talk about his thing. I'm like, yeah, look what he did have at Ohio State. Gary Wilson, Jameson Williams, Chris Olave. What do you think Ryan Poles is trying to do? When equally yoked, Justin Fields can hang with the best of them. And you saw he national championship game, and who knows what would have happened if he wasn't hurt. Okay, but that was against an Alabama team, and they got NFL players too deep at that school too. So it's a battle of titans. But when you give him weapons, Lord have mercy. You've seen what he's done, what he can do when he has weapons. And that's exactly this whole thing. So when you say, does Justin need we need a good offensive line, we need this, we need that. Well, guess what? Guess what Ryan Poles is trying to do? He's trying to get him a solid offensive line. Trying to get him trying to get him playmakers. Because when he's had it, you've seen he's made a college football playoffs twice, won the Big Ten twice, college football playoffs twice, championship game once. So don't talk about, well, what is Justin Field? We needed this and that. Yeah, it's called building a team. And again, I revert back to the Dallas Cowboys of the 90s. Troy Aikman is not a generational quarterback. All right, Troy Aikman is not a game-changing quarterback. All right, the team that the Dallas Cowboy had was amazing. And this is what Ryan Poles is trying to do, get this team solid, too deep. And how do you do that? With draft picks. So everything is budgeted on a rookie deal. So if you need money, now you can go spend it on free agency. You don't want to spend it on free agency now and get the big guy, except maybe Daniil Hunter. But a big-time free agent, you don't need another one, okay? Because you have to budget and get everything ready because you're going to have to pay Justin. How much? I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be in the $50 million range, but you still got to pay him. But the model, DEL, not MOTTO, the model that we need to look at is the Dallas Cowboys. And truth be told, look at the Chiefs. Look at the Chiefs. They had a team. I read you the records yesterday. What their record was before Patrick Mahomes started: 12-4, 10-6. They had a team before Patrick Mahomes started, before he even got there. They added him to the mix, and look where it's gone. You get a team around Justin. With a really good play caller, with guys who's developed quarterbacks, not just the play caller, but the quarterback coach and the pass game coordinator, who's also an offensive coordinator. Come on, man. It's coming. It's clear now.
Go ahead, Chris. I see you up there.
I just wanted to. We talked about the Caleb cultists, and I normally don't call those people that are in Caleb's camp put them in in a group or call them a name. But I just saw this article, and of course, it's Brad Biggs, our buddy at the Tribune.
You had to share that with us, man. I ain't need to see it.
I just wanted to show you how
You want to be pitiful like Brad Biggs?
huh?
The hell with Brad Biggs, man. You know what
Well,
his angle is, Chris. You know what it is.
don't yell at me.
I'm not. I'm just talking. I'm just passionate today, man. I'm not yelling at nobody, man.
I just thought I'd share that with you. Just
Yeah.
president of the Caleb Cultists.
And nobody. No, let me tell you something. I'll tell you what, Chris. Let's go ahead and do a station ID because we're about halfway through the show, and we're just jump.
Best Chicago Bears content anywhere. Catch Nomad live pregame 1 hour prior to kickoff and Nomad at night postgame, and every Friday evening at 7 p.m. Central on all the most popular streaming platforms, and only on the Nomad Network.
That's right, man. Do us a favor, hit the like. I see a few new people in the chat. Do us that favor and hit the subscribe button if you would. If you're enjoying the content, man, I would appreciate that. We would. So would Sports Zone Chicago. Go over and hit the like and subscribe over there. They did a show today too. Am I right, Shawn? You guys did a show this morning. So yeah, do us a favor and go do both. Hit us up, man, and also hit your notification bell because I told you at the beginning of the show we're gonna probably get a little bit busy latter, this part of the week towards the end, man. We probably gonna do a little bit more content. So we don't know exactly what time it's gonna come out. It's probably gonna be 8 o'clock when we do Nomad at night, but just in case it's not, hit your notification bell so you'll know ahead of time. But please do us a favor and hit the like and subscribe. We will really appreciate it, fellas and ladies. But let me tell you something, man. I keep telling people this, man. And here's what I think I know about Ryan Poles and Matt Eberflus. I think I think they showed me from the very beginning of them coming here that they have the pulse of the city and they have a sense of what kind of football Chicago Bears fans want, what kind of football we play here. We're a blue collar city and we like blue collar football. You need tough, you need hard nosed, physical football. That's what we like. We like defense. This is our MO. This is who we are. I mean, anybody, and I know that we been that team that there's some people out here that's like, oh man, we need to get a different kind of offense. We don't score enough points. We don't throw the ball enough. I think balance is the key, and I know that that's what they're looking for. But what you need in a quarterback, when I get to describing all that stuff, the toughness and the steel reserve that you got to have to be able to play here. It's a big city, man. It's tough. The media guys are tough. Everybody can't do this. Okay? Everybody's not made to do this. And what I have to say about the quarterback everybody seems to want is I know from just observing this cat for a couple of years from a distance, I don't know the guy personally. I will tell you that now. But I have, I'm a people person. People, taking care of people and serving people has been part of my life, my whole adult life. That's been my job, man. I kind of get a read for people really good. And I'm telling you, this guy does not have the mental makeup to flourish here. I think the setup in Washington is much better and conducive for him. Not one, he'll be right there with family and, he'll be it's not like he won't have, if he came here, he won't have people to kind of lean on, but I don't think he's got the mental makeup, man. I think in tough situations, I think he's too emotional, and I think it's going to show in his game and off the field when the media starts attacking him and going. I just know that about the kid. What I know about Justin is the exact opposite. I know that the exact opposite is true about Justin. He just gets more steel reserved in him, and that's how he is, man. The kid's steely. He knows the pulse of Chicago. He knows how to go out there and do the moment ain't too big for him. He rises to the occasion, man. So yes, it's going to be a time where all this stuff is going to be over. Whichever way it goes, I'm going to be proud to say that I wasn't one of those people that turned on him when he's still a Chicago Bear as of right now.
Well, I'm just gonna say this, man. When it comes to Justin Fields and his toughness, we've seen it time and time again. The kid has taken hit after hit after hit. He's played through some injuries. He's wanted to play through some injuries. I go all the way back to when he played with broken ribs at Ohio State. The kid is just a competitor, man. He wants to win. He wants to be great. Um, but all that gets seems to get lost in translation when you have national media, local media, some talking heads who seem to one never really followed the guy until he became a Chicago Bear. You may have some that don't like him because when he was at Ohio State, he was mopping everybody in the Big Ten. He beat up on Michigan. He beat up on Michigan State. He beat up on Illinois. Most of the teams that you guys in the Northwest, I mean in the Midwest, get a chance to watch on every Saturday. I have the opportunity to where I can watch games all over the country, and I will continue to compare Justin. I'm gonna just go back to college versus college. When I compare both college players, Caleb to me does not match up. You know, and I believe in wins. We always want to predicate greatness in certain things based on wins. Well, let's do that for a moment.
But no, no, no. To Justin's 10-28, 10-38. No, you got to do it. But
That
it only works in the pros. You can't go back to college. Tell him, Keith. Tell him. If it works in the pros, it got to work in college too. Tell him,
I
Keith.
mean, I mean, what else are y'all going off of? I mean, last I checked, Justin been to the big game. Matter of fact, the number one guy in his draft, he beat
On the
Caleb.
way to the big game. Yep.
Yeah, Caleb. Let's talk about it. The only thing he's won, which was 2 years ago, was the Heisman Trophy. Tell me what top 25 teams has he beaten? He hasn't. And he doesn't look good against those teams' defenses. The kid, again, I'm not taking anything away from him. And let me go back and circle the wagon on what I meant regarding his whole arm strength. I'm not saying he doesn't have a cannon, but having a cannon in California and having a cannon in Soldier Fields off the lakefront with that wind swirling like it does is two different things. And I'm here to tell you, you will see a difference in his ball if he came to Chicago. And I don't want to hear if by chance he does end up in a Bears uniform. I'm keeping notes. I'm keeping receipts because I don't want to hear nobody crying about things when if it goes south. Because trust me, I will be the one. I will troll you. I'm going to be that guy.
Man, look, let me tell y'all something, man. I got still got to disagree with you on that arm strength, man. He'll
Again,
pull
we're
it.
gonna disagree on that one, baby. That's fine.
All right. That's all right, man. I keep telling you, man, it's cool. Um, but here's, I think it was Smitty Q that asked me. Let me get to this before we get carried away into this conversation about Justin Fields' extension. And I spoke to somebody asked me about that today on Twitter. And what's that?
No, just if Justin is so great, why isn't every other organization beating down the doors to sign him? There are quite. He's had quite a
There's
already
there's 8 teams right now that's
that have,
calling
and these
about
are
him.
and these have been confirmed offers. So
Yeah,
whoever Olivia is,
come on, man.
you got to understand
We ain't
football.
gonna tackle. We ain't gonna tackle, man.
No, no, okay.
All right, we won't. We'll
Hey,
leave it alone.
they fought for freedom. They want everything equal. They'll get the smoke too, just like guys get the
Hey,
smoke.
we ain't gonna tackle, man. She feels the way she feels. I like everybody to come enjoy the show, man. Unless you're being crazy, you're gonna be welcome here like family, man. But to that point, I don't know. I can't tell you, I can't confirm or deny anything about how many teams. To be honest with you, I haven't seen nothing, but just speculation to me. I don't know what Shawn and Keith know, but let me answer Smitty Q's question right quick. He asked me about Justin Fields. What do you think if they don't let him go? What the extension would look like? And I think he's kind of alluding to, how much could this hurt the team later on? Here's what I think about that. I think Justin is smart. I think his relationship with Poles is very important. I think the future of the Bears and him winning and winning on for a long time moving forward is more important to him than front end money in a contract. And so, do I think he'll just play himself and not take nowhere near what he's probably worth? No, I don't think that. But I think he'll do a contract in a way that's feasible that Ryan Post could still build around him as they're paying out that contract. And so what I think, if you're asking me, Smitty, if I think Justin may take a team friendly deal, I think so. I think a team friendly deal might be different than what some people might have in mind. I think a team friendly deal is options for the general manager to keep building the team. What that looks like, I don't know. But I know Justin's committed to winning, and a conversation where he polls and his team say, "Hey man, hey, we're gonna pay you and want to give you some money, but we still gonna need to keep pieces around you while we're doing that. Hey man, just help me out here." I could see that conversation being had, and I could see him.
No different than what Mahomes has done.
But
Go
you
ahead.
could also
Sorry for cutting you.
make the thing you could do is you can make it to make it easier. You can also make everything you can make it incentive laden. Okay, so for 20 touchdown passes, you get this. He's going to hit 20 touchdown passes. You know that, but at that because it's an incentive laden, it's an incentive. It doesn't go against the cap. So you can
Right.
make a lot of different things. So at 2,500 yards, you make this. At 3,000 yards, you make this. At 3,500 yards, you make this. At 4,000 yards, you get this. So it doesn't have to be all up front. You can make it in a situation in an incentive laden deal where he can make an extra 3 or 4 or 5 or whatever you want, however many millions you want, you can make it. So it's not going to be an issue. And let's not forget this: once you get all these guys this year and then next year with these picks, they're all 4-year deals. 5 years
Right.
if they're first rounders, it could be 5 years. So and the salary cap's going up; it goes up every year. So the money, and this is why I said pick up his 5th-year option, so you have all the numbers on the table and you can maneuver that way. I mean, you could maneuver them, by not picking it up and just see it, but it just makes it easier. So it's the finances are fine, Don't worry about it.
They've even projected for next year's cap an additional 30 mil that's going to be thrown in. So I mean, you know, I mean, what? Let's touch on that too. Since when has Chicago Bears fan become fiscally responsible when it comes to players? You all want people to go and just throw money at aging free agents. So let's cut that out too. Talking about, oh well, we need to reset. We need to reset everything. Reset the clock. Come on, fellas. Y'all killing me out here. Now y'all want to be fiscally responsible. You want a shiny toy. Come on, man. Again, and I'm going to go back to yesterday. If we did not have the first pick, this conversation, we wouldn't even be having it. So stop it.
Well, it's not going to be really fiscally responsible because you're still going to have to spend that money that you save on free agents to fill your holes. And so that's not the way he's built this team thus far is through free
No,
agency.
I'm not saying him. I'm saying our fans all of
Well,
a sudden want to be fiscally responsible when they
well,
don't.
that's what I'm
Come on,
saying.
man. Let's be honest. They don't know it.
It's not really being fiscally responsible because that money's going to have to be spent anyway.
There's a floor you got to spend.
Yeah, you got to spend a certain amount of money anyway.
Right, right. I think all that. I think all that. It's worth conversation, but it ain't worth
No, it's not.
hammering
You can,
on about because I think that'll take care of itself when they cross that bridge. And to me, it's more important that we do these shows and make sure that we're pointing out things. Like I said, man, most people that's here on the in the chat, I see a lot of them on Twitter, and that app, I'm telling you, will sway your mind if you don't know where to put that damn app. You gotta compartmentalize that app and just know there's some nutty people on there that's just looking for something. They emotionally swing from right to left every day, all day. They're just looking for the next thing to be wildly excited about or wildly outraged about. That's what happens on that app. Nothing more, nothing less. And so in my opinion, I know how I am in my demeanor on the app. I say what I say, and it's just my point of view. And I'm just trying to be a reasonable Bears fan. I'm a Bears fan just before I'm anything else. But when I say things on the app, because it gets a lot of attention and people, it resonates with people. Boy, man, you got to come after me and try to shout me down and call me names and try to tell me, oh, man, I'm just going to tell you, the person that wants to do that with me on Twitter. Boy, don't waste your time, man. Don't waste your damn time. I don't give a damn what you think. I really don't. I'll just state my opinion, and you think you're gonna shout me out and shout me down because you don't like the other people like what I have to say. Man, you look like an idiot out here. As a matter of fact, you are an idiot. What do you think telling me that I don't make sense or I'm stupid is gonna do about changing my opinion? Man, you a fool, a damn one at that. So I just had to say that, man. That's sometimes I get on my nerves, man.
Somebody mentioned
Apparently,
earlier. Go ahead,
I
Chris.
see.
I said apparently it does.
I'm like, I see. Okay.
It doesn't bother me as much as I
I'm
made
glad
it
to know I'm not the only one fired up today.
It doesn't bother me as much as I made it sound, but I just need to tell people, like, don't waste your time. If you see something that I said that you don't like, scroll, man. You saying something to me ain't gonna change a damn thing, man.
That's
Like
true. One of the things that someone said earlier is, and I wouldn't mind doing that. And they said, would you guys just, back it up with film and not just talk about it? And my thing is this, like, and people say, the film of the film, it has no agenda. This is true. However, when you put certain clips together, there is an agenda. Okay. If you put together clips where all the things are in your favor and fit the agenda that you want to progress, that you're trying to show, well, then guess what? Then there's an agenda. Okay. So you can't just sit there and then you throw in one contrary to that to say, hey, it's just to make it seem like you're impartial. It's not. You know what? Every time you see, and again, I'm not doubting. I'm not. I shouldn't say doubting. I'm not downplaying Caleb's talents. He's a phenomenal player, and I hope he has a great career. Okay, but I feel that Justin is the best option for this team, and I can show you plays. All right, I can show you plays where he reads defenses. So somebody said, "Oh, well, he doesn't know how to read defenses," and I saw a couple people jump to get in there before I did and said, "Can you read defenses? How do you know he can't read defenses? If you can't read defenses to tell whether or not someone else can read defenses, then why are you spitting out something that you don't know?" So I've seen, and I've broken down tape. I've watched tape. I've watched the L-22 where he moves linebackers, moves safeties, holds people so he can get his throw across. It's comical when you hear certain things and people come up with the same narratives, the same things. He can't read defenses. He holds the ball too long. He this, he that, and this and that. Like, if you don't understand, yes, fans can be critical, but if you're not sure and you're just going by whatever someone else says, how do you know they don't have an agenda? How do you know they know what they're looking at and talking about? So now you're just parroting and you're regurgitating what someone else says and who you don't even know has an agenda, if they have an agenda or not, or if they even know what they're talking about. I'll put my football credentials up against anybody. Anybody. If we want to break down film, we can break down film. We could do the All-22. I don't have a problem with it. I'll tell you what, for both quarterbacks, you can see a lot of great plays and you can see a lot of not great plays. So don't sit there and crap on Justin because you like Caleb, because I don't crap on Caleb because I like Justin.
WC Brandt, I love to bring Adam Mason on the show, but I don't do the All-22 like they do, man, because I don't like doing it. I hate it. Be quite frank with you. And I'm glad other people are doing it. But I do what I do to I don't have to. I think I can do a good job explaining what I see on tape on Caleb Williams, and be quite frank with you. Over watching enough of it, the biggest takeaway from me as far as his performance on the field and the offensive scheme that they run is, I know it's not very necessarily conducive to what the NFL and the NFL defenses are going to give you, and going to, that lateral game that's a bunch of screens, and that's another thing, man. The way that he is really effective with the football, he's got that rocket release, man. He's got that slingshot type release, and that's all they do. A lot of lateral screens and bubble screen, all kinds of stuff like that. That game is so lateral, so left and right, and not north and south, that Getsy would have been the perfect coach for him. And so again, I go back to, why in the hell would you throw out your whole entire offensive staff if you knew the quarterback was the problem? That doesn't make good sense. Caleb fans, I'm going to say this to you one more time. Why in God's name would you trash your whole entire offensive staff if you didn't think Justin was the guy and you didn't think if you thought Justin was the problem. Why would you do that? That doesn't make good logical sense. The two things don't add up, people. They identified that this team, that the offensive guys that were putting the game plans together, including Getty and everybody he brought in with him, weren't sufficient to get what we needed out of Justin Fields in the offense. And so they went with another team of guys. So what does that indicate to you? We still believe in what this quarterback can do. Let's bring some guys in here that have some history with getting some stuff straight with the quarterback that struggled here and there with different. That was Geno Smith. That's Shane Waldron. Add it up. And if it doesn't make sense to you after hearing that, then you don't want it to make sense.
Well, let me hit you with this. There's a gentleman that's on TV, played in the league, was the number one pick, by the way, who went to USC, wide receiver, Keyshawn Johnson, who is alumni of USC, right? Even he believes that you should build the team around Justin Fields and the Bears not take that pick and use it on Caleb Williams. And again, he's not trashing Caleb's talent at all. But even he made the comment, and that's where I got the. That's why I'm also referencing about the arm strength, because he's even pointed that out. That hey, look, Caleb's a great player, but what Fields has to offer and what he does, and he came right out and said it. He said, look, the question isn't about what can Caleb do that Justin can't do. He said it's the reverse. What does Justin do that Caleb can't do? He said, and he pointed out several different games where Justin would have been sacked and was able to, because of his size, not take that sack and extend the play and still get the ball down the field for a first down and or touchdown. This is somebody that you would think is trying to promote his alumni to be the number one pick. And he's even saying, no, trade back, build around the man that you have, because the man that you have is equally, if not more talented and special. And this is a guy that I'm going to be honest, when Keyshawn talks, I listen because he breaks it down in a way to where it makes sense. And he speaks from a football standpoint, not so much as a fan, not even so much as being a media personality. He's speaking from actually playing the game. And he also alluded to his size. He said, I'm going to be honest. He said, I like bigger quarterbacks. He said, and we're going to really find out what Caleb's actual height is. And he kind of alluded that it's not 6'1". But you guys go ahead. You have at it. I've digressed today. And I'm just going to take it back. I'm going to give it to Shawn and Nomad for the rest of the afternoon. I'm going to reserve my thoughts.
Hey Shawn, let me jump if you don't mind jumping ahead. Let me rewind us back to when Peter King put that article out, and everybody again I trust Peter King 100%. That guy's never let me down since I started reading this stuff. He says something that's pretty much gold, and he doesn't waste his words and his articles by putting out no speculation. I think he knows exactly what's going to happen. I think he knows exactly what's going to happen, but he did go out the day after on, I think, Florio's show or somebody. Dan Patrick. Dan Patrick. It was Dan Patrick, and said and kind of knocked it down. And that was probably a phone call from Pose. Hey, man, you got to imagine this is a people business, man. They have to be able to communicate with each other. And when something starts getting out of, Pose kind of lost control of the narrative at that point. And he, this poker play the poker hand that he's trying to play, that really didn't do him a whole lot of favors. So I can imagine a phone call between Ryan Poles and Peter King saying, hey, man, I appreciate you. I love you. I know I trust you, but I just do me a favor, man. If you can go out there and put some cold water on that for me, that would definitely help me along the ways of trying to keep, this value of this pick up, and Peter King being the person that he is and respectable guy that he is, he would probably acquiesce to that, wouldn't you think, Shawn?
But and then he's retiring. So you need me to do you a favor? Okay, I got it, no problem. That was his last article. Okay, he retired. Okay, but he put it out for a reason. And then he was very adamant about it the next day again, when you try to overcorrect something, okay, it makes me look, well, why did you do it in the first place? All right, over when you overcorrect. Because remember, he came and said, I talked to no one, no one, no one, no one. I didn't talk to no one, no one, no one. I talked to no one. It was just me. That's what I thought. And then he said, well, last year I had a 45-minute, interview with Ryan Poles. I'm not there this year, and this, like really trying to separate him. And that it's just my opinion. Something again, when you're trying to overcorrect, you go too far, something ain't right. It's just about knowing people. It's about dealing with people. Then and if you guys know me, I was a teacher for a long time, for 15 years, a football coach for about the same amount of time. So you understand you're dealing with kids, and kids are nothing but adults, and they have the same habits, the same mannerisms, the same when they're trying to say behaviors as adults, and you see it on a regular basis, and you overcorrect. There's something going on. So yeah, I don't think there's anything. Just a number of phone call like, hey man, can you do so? Yeah, I got you. Don't worry about it. My bad. Boom. You know, why? Because why wouldn't you want to go out with a bang on your last articles? You just want your last article to be and fade off into the sunset? No, I don't think so. I think you
Right.
make a bang with your last article, okay, and then they're like, dude, you kind of messed this up. All right, cool. That's what it seems like to me. Could be
That,
wrong, but probably not.
no, I mean, that's absolutely reasonable. It is, man. I mean, when you just sit down and really think about it, that's how this is a people business. That's how things play out, man. Get on
Yeah.
the phone and try to make some arrangements to help the situation that you might have helped create. But you know what I mean. But I digress, man. Chris, jump on back in here, man. Let's do some shout outs before we get up out of here right quick. We start
Hey
with you.
man, again, just shout out to the chat, everybody that supports us, man. I appreciate you guys. Look, guys, can please continue to subscribe. If you're not, hit that like button, and crush your notifications so you know when we put up this content. My brothers Keith and Shawn, Nomad. It's always good to sit with you guys. Brian, you hold it down the back, my friend. I appreciate you. And hey, let's bear it out.
Everybody in the chat, thanks for joining in today. We really do appreciate it. For the new one, for everybody that's new, again, thank you. Don't forget to hit the like button, share and subscribe to content. We really greatly appreciate it, as well as make sure you go and check out Sports Zone in the morning with my man Shawn, the SuperBack. So definitely check him out as well. But hey guys, yeah, we get a little emotional. I know. I'm passionate about the Bears, and as well as and like I said, I've been following Justin Fields since he was in high school. So I'm a if you want to tilt it to a little bit of bias, so be it. But I know the type of work that young man put into going from not being a 0-star athlete to working his way to a 5-star athlete by his senior year. And the kid is just an amazing kid, comes from an amazing family. So for that, I feel he should be rewarded. And I just think that he got drafted into a crap show in the beginning, and I think Poles feel that he owes him an opportunity to at least show that he is that franchise quarterback for us. But other than that, I want everybody to have a great, safe rest of your day and afternoon. Hopefully, we see you guys later on this evening.
Hey man, and thank you guys again for coming to the show, man. You always is 160 something people, 170 maybe that was in the chat today is really bumping, man. You guys got good energy, and I love you guys for being here and supporting us. Let me say this before we get out of here, and I got to keep reminding people of this every time we do a show. We work hard to put out content, and we work hard to put people in place to make sure that we're giving you shows and giving you something to watch and something to kind of hang your hat on, man. And I want to say this: we do it because we're Bears fans, and everybody in this chat today is a Bears fan. Agree with us, don't agree with us, won't Caleb, won't Justin. Doesn't really matter at this point. You can come here and be in a safe, healthy space and not get yelled at, not get cursed at, not being, you won't get mistreated here, is what I want to say. We're not that kind of podcast. We won't talk down to you. We might argue and bicker with you a little bit, man, but the respect level is going to always be there because we maintain that over here. That's our standard. Be respectful so long as everybody else is, and everything will be fine. We'll have a good show. People in the chat will enjoy going back and forth with each other. But that's how you do it, man. You just keep it healthy, keep it respectable, and just remember that we're all Bears fans at the end of the day, and we want the same thing: get another damn Super Bowl or two, or three, or four. That's what we all want, man.
Yeah.
How we get there. Everybody will have a tug of war of what they think should happen. But just remember that, man. Don't forget that. Keep that in mind. We're all fans and want the same thing, man. But I digress,
Yeah.
fellas. Before we get out of here, I gotta leave you guys with these famous words, man.
Can I say goodbye?
Yes. Oh, my bad, Shawn. Damn. My bad. I went all off on that soliloquy, man, and forgot all about it.
I know. That's why I want to get in before, so you can finish with a bang.
We got to get him some decaf, man.
I had that.
Shawn, did you drop your bomb, Shawn?
Hey, hold on. Hey, Chris, I had some of that Marley Blue Mountain coffee, man. Y'all don't know what that is, boy. You better get you some.
Or not.
No, it's good, man.
Yeah,
ahead,
Keith.
Shawn.
It was the thing about why they fired the offensive staff. Remember when
Gotcha.
Nomad's like, you
Okay.
stole my. Yeah. I just want to say all my sports owners and no maniacs, unite. One or two powers activate. I'm kidding. But no, just thank you guys for supporting, man. It's good. You know what I mean? And to have people, we have people. We look at everything. We don't just follow. We say what we feel because our eyes are trained. All right, they're trained a lot different than everybody else. They're trained different than reporters. They're trained from different than the average Joe. All right, they're just trained different. It's it. It's nothing more, nothing less. Okay, so we keep it a buck. We keep it real, and we're never going to bow to anybody, and we love that. If you come here and you disagree with us, that's cool. All right, we're not solving world hunger. We're not even solving the migrant crisis here in Chicago. Okay, we're just talking sports. So, like he said, be respectful. We can agree to disagree. All right, you're entitled to your wrong opinion. That's fine, and that's cool. I'm kidding. I got jokes. But anyway, thanks for tuning in and following us, man. I appreciate it. Make sure you subscribe, hit the notification button here on the Nomad Network and on my platform on Sports Zone Chicago. Like I said, we would greatly appreciate it, and we will see you mañana. For those of you who don't speak Spanish, that's tomorrow. Or if I say mañana, no, we're not in the morning. Never mind. See you tomorrow.
So I don't have a spiel to spill no more. I already did that, and they said enough. So we're just gonna close it with these famous words: love, peace, and hair grease, y'all.
Bear down.
See you tonight at 8.